Welcome to this bonus episode of the C Xchange in the studio. I'm Alex Russell Rutherford, Customer Experience Champion and CCXP. Today's really exciting. We're hosting Awards International at Skewber HQ for a part of the Judge Club. Related to that, we have been able to get a couple of our fellow Judge Club members into the studio today and to have one-on-one session. And this is our second session. Thank you for joining me. With me today is Kat Stroud. Kat has worked in customer experience measurement for over 12 years and has a background in psychology. We might probe some of that later. She works at Forsta, which powers the HX, Human Experience Platform. Might ask you about that later as well. This is a comprehensive experience and research technology platform that breaks down the silos between CX, employee experience, EX, and market research. That's a topic I'm really passionate about, the synergy of culture and customer, right? So that companies can get a deeper, more complete understanding of the experiences of their audience. In her role at Forsta, she works closely with customers to help define and design customer experience programs that deliver business change. She enjoys an understanding each business and building strong relationships with clients. Her passion is engaging employees to turn data into actions which help companies develop the best experience for their customers. Might as well just finish the podcast now. Mic drop moment.
Mic drop.
Well done.
Bye.
That sounds so interesting. Before we start, I don't know if you just also want to give a quick introduction, something along the lines of name, job title, how long it's been, just nice and short about
that. My name is Kat Stroud. I'm a senior customer experience consultant at Forsta. I've been with Forsta for over 5 years now. So I joined when it was known as Confirm It, if people know about that.
Yes.
Yeah. And prior to that, I worked at a company called Forsta as a customer experience analyst. And that's kind of where I really started the customer experience journey. My role is, my tagline is that I try to ensure that clients get value out of the software and products they've bought from us. So it's quite a broad remit, all the way from like the nitty gritty of survey design, questionnaire design, dashboard design, all the way up to how best should you structure your program, what type of survey, what type of measurement solution do you need?
Awesome. Well, so much to go at here. So we'll come back to some of those topics, particularly also the application of psychology into this as well. It's something I really relate to. I feel like half of the day job is being compelling, helping them make the decision, influencing, inspiring confidence and all of that as well as it. So that definitely feels like a real asset to have up the sleeve there. So our quickfire questions. Question number 1. Okay. Your journey or relationship with Awards International. Tell us a bit about your history. How did it start? How long has it been?
Bit of a funny start, actually. So, like I said, I joined Forsta over 5 years ago. I joined and it was basically one of the first things I was asked to do. So I was brand new to the company and a colleague of mine, a fellow CX consultant, had a client who was going in for an award. And he last minute couldn't make it to the award ceremony. So it was kind of are you free that day? Yes, you are. Okay, you're going.
Excellent.
So my first...
the power of saying yes.
That's it. My first, delving into that world was just being a guest at the award ceremony evening. I'll be honest, at the time when I was there, I didn't have any idea what I'd signed up for, what I was going. I was going because I was told to, basically. But it was so much fun. And I remember my first memory was there was so many people there. Like, I couldn't believe that there were that many CX professionals in one space together. It was like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So that's where it began.
Nice. And it planted a seed. Are you judging at this year's?
I am.
Okay. Do you know what your category is?
CX SME.
Oh, we might be on the same judging panel. That's exciting.
We have loads. Have you?
So that's my second one, and then my first one is complaints handling.
Okay.
Because that's my shtick.
Your thing. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Excellent. I'm sure we'll be covering that at the judge conversations a bit later. Excellent. Okay, question number 2. Who do you see as being amazing at customer experience? Now, this could be really broad, okay? Because we deal and interact with companies all day, every day. Might be something really small, a little touch, or it might be something where you're invested heavily because something costs a lot. You know, who do you think's great?
There's so many examples I could draw from. I guess I'll go for 2 examples. So the first one, bit of personal backstory. I've recently just moved house. So
Stressful.
Very stressful.
/ exciting.
And I have a toddler, so he's 2.5. So
Excellent.
add that to the mix. It's
Yep.
been real fun. But a fun part of it is you kind of start from scratch again. So buying all new furniture, white goods, etc. And one company that I used a lot over the past few months is AO.com.
I can hear the advert in my ear now.
You can.
Hey, oh,
You can see the logo and everything, can't you?
I can.
Such good branding.
Very clever.
Yeah. So I bought a whole bunch of items, and I got really excited about a new washing machine. So there's this like new auto dose feature in washing machines where you just load it up with everything, and then it just does its own thing, and you don't have to put like detergent in every wash.
Why doesn't this already exist? That sounds like something so straightforward.
Yeah, you should get one. I highly recommend it.
Well, actually, our current one is playing up at the moment. Okay.
Okay, anyway, back to the story.
AO.
I got it really excited, got installed and everything. Everything was completely seamless. And I tried to use it, and it didn't work. And I was really frustrated, upset, and probably because I had such high expectations, all of a sudden just tanked. So first port of call AO. I called AO.com. Really, I don't even think I was on hold. It just went straight through to someone, really friendly person, just listened to what had happened. And they said, that's no good. We can't have that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you in touch with our supplier, because unfortunately, you bought through us, but it's a supplier that would have to come out and help you. In the back of my head, I was thinking, oh no, they're going to give me a phone number. I'm going to be sat on hold. No, they dialed the supplier in to the phone call. So it was a 3-way conference call and the AO representative said, I'm here to support you, I'm here to back you, but I'll remain silent unless you ask me to wade in. And it just happened, straight away. The supplier came on the line and we got it all sorted.
Wow, that's on paper. That could have been so. It almost feel like you're being fobbed off, right? But yeah, very.
They did it in a really good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say there was a second one?
There was a second one, and I guess it's one of those nice touch ones. So, and I think it's quite interesting when I think back to how I felt about the experience. So it was Champneys Spa. And I'd booked a package for me and my mum to go on a little girls' overnight trip. Very excited. And last minute, my mum realised she'd double booked. And so I had to call up and basically ask if they could change the date. Now, and I don't know if this just speaks to the inflexibility of a lot of other interactions that we have with brands, but I had kind of built it up that I'd have to give a really good reason. I'd have to probably pay an admin fee, a cancellation fee, a rebooking fee. I don't know. At that point, I was willing to just do it. And again, called up, really friendly person on the line, and she just said, "No problem. What date would you like?" I was so built up, and I was just like, "Oh,
the bomb's been diffused."
Exactly. Yeah, and I think because it just hit me because I was so ready for there to be a penalty, and there wasn't.
Oh, good answers. I love how different they've been as well. This is going to be great. Question number 3. How did you get into working in CX? So at the beginning, we heard a bit about your current situation, but I wonder what the path was that you've ended up in CX. a lot of us end up taking unconventional paths. Some people are very clear from the get-go, no, this is what I want to get into. How have you ended up in this space?
Okay. So I studied psychology at university, and I was very much like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a psychologist. How do I do that? And then I think third year we started to delve into more like SPSS and like studies, and I thought, this is quite interesting. And then I graduated, and then I also realised becoming a psychologist was a lot of work, and I didn't want to study anymore. So I jumped straight into the workforce. I should mention actually that all throughout my teenage years, I'd always worked customer-facing roles. So I worked at John Lewis as just someone behind the till, and so I kind of had that on-the-ground experience. And I very much stand by that. You grow so much if you've ever worked in retail behind the till, because you
character building.
Exactly that, character building. So anyway, I got a job as an intern for a really, really small market research agency. And by small, I mean it was like me, my boss, and one other person. But that is
small.
It is very small. It was a great experience because I got to do a little bit of everything. That was very much, at the time, it was like surveys on tablets at events. So I got to travel to France and manage a team of researchers going out to ask questions. And I just kind of got a bit hooked there. So I kind of started in that market research area. And then I moved to London and I got a job at Forsta. And that job was to be an analyst of the data. So, and again, that was something I really, really enjoyed, like all the way back to the psychology days, which is actually analysing the data, picking out the stories, finding out what's driving the change or score. And another kind of growing opportunity there, because all of a sudden I was presenting to like chief of operations, CEOs of brands, UK brands, and I learnt a lot there. And then, just slowly like moved my way up, got more specialised, and
the storytelling element of it is I feel like I love it, because so many people think customers just, this fluffy irritation, over here. No, it's all about the asset or the task or the process. But some of the storytelling, is so compelling. And if you can just find the cause and the effect and the soundbite, that just backs it up, it just is, it's something I love as well.
Yeah.
Really interesting. You're definitely in the right organisation now. Question number 4. What's your biggest CX frustration today? What do you think organisations should just stop doing? I might set the scene.
Go on, yeah.
So we're sort of in this post-lockdown, although lockdown was a while ago now. Also, I'm bored of lockdown stories as well, so this is not one of those. But over that period, it did feel like they made things easier for us during that period. And then all of a sudden, some of these low-tech touches came back. Recently, I've had to pick up the phone to renew my broadband, which felt uncomfortable and strange. And I had to fill in a paper form to edit my pension recently. So is there anything out there that you think companies should stop doing?
So my mind goes to a very specific example, actually.
We'd love a specific example.
When I receive an invitation to complete a survey via email, one of the things I hate the most is if it's about a product that the organisation just pipes in like the order number, and I have no idea what product they want, what interaction they want me to talk about, and it just really frustrates me because sometimes I have like a lot of opinions to share. Like I don't know. This has completely put me off. So please pipe in the right data and get people to engage with you.
Yeah, so my spider senses would be going off there going, oh, there's no service recovery behind this. They're just using it, to collect score.
Yeah.
you've forgotten about like why you're sending it. You could create a great moment.
Exactly.
Totally agree with you there. Also less likely to fill it in.
Absolutely.
So it's not an effective way of collecting feedback.
And it's probably put me off, which is turning a potential good moment into a negative moment.
Yes. Question number 5, a slight fluffy one, but we might come to the HX platform, which is around, are you promoting anything? Are you selling anything? So with this one, do you want to elaborate a bit more on the HX human experience platform? Bring it to life a little bit?
Yeah.
The short version.
Yeah. So Forsta has been born from a series of acquisitions and mergers. And that put us in a really fortunate position where we, within our suite, suddenly had the ability to measure across the board, from market research studies all the way to traditional voice of customer programs to ingesting review data, social data, and even like local listings as well. And I think it's two things, really. The main thing is we have the technology to support that. And then the second thing is that we have the internal experts that have stayed as part of the mergers and acquisitions to support clients to be able to run these programs effectively.
Interesting. Like I said at the beginning, the ability to either surface cause and effect is so powerful, because then you're fixing the right things.
Yeah.
Not just the noisy thing over there. It's, oh wait, if you fix that, that gets better. But then also just weaving the cultural element into it is, because they, we're only as good as our people, behaviours, targets. They all create outcomes just as a side effect, right? So it sounds absolutely fascinating.
And actually, I probably should have talked a little bit about human experience, should I? That phrase and what that means to us. And I think, like you said, we have the people, and I think this is a trend I see amongst clients I work with, is sometimes they forget or they lose sight of actually the purpose of starting a program like this. And it's trying to remind them that behind every data point, behind every respondent, behind every review is actually a person that interacted with you as a brand and actually cared enough that they took the time to give you feedback. So I think I always think there's that level of, we should treat that with respect, the time that they took to do that and their thoughts and opinions that they shared.
It's too easy to, especially in a performance setting or a leadership setting, for it just to be, oh, well, that's the CSAT score.
Exactly.
Well, how many did we get? How many people is that?
Yeah.
Where were they? What product? Let's bring it to life.
How do they feel?
Yes. Again, we could probably talk about that topic quite some time. So we will go to question number 6. For somebody that might be embarking on wanting to fix some of their customer experience challenges, what would be your biggest piece of advice, or where would be the first place that you might point them to? As often organisations fall into a trap, don't they, fixing the noisy thing?
Yeah.
What would be your advice?
Firstly, the principle of simplicity. So just try and start with simplicity first. Second, and it doesn't sound like rocket science, but it is a hard thing to master, I think. And that's always root whatever program activity onto a strategic objective of that brand, of that company. Look at what is it that your CEO is trying to achieve in the next 12 months. It could be growth. It could be reducing churn. It could be targeting key accounts.
I'm getting some nods in the audience. Excellent.
And start there.
So often you start these programs or these initiatives without that hook to the senior leader, the thing that that stings or they really helps them look good, right?
Yeah.
So absolutely right. Good, meaty answer there. So let's go off in a different direction, and you'll be pleased to know this is the last question. What's your proudest moment of your career to date? It's a deep one.
It is a deep one. Okay, this actually happened recently. So I've been working with a client for a number of years now, and these last 12 months, this individual has taken their role has changed, so it's been lifted up to a more central governing role, looking after multiple regions. And we were just having a normal catch-up call the other day, and she was talking about how she's spending her time thinking about culture change, thinking about activation, thinking about how do I spread this message in a way that's going to get my stakeholders to do something. She's talking about governance, processes, etc., etc. And I was like, I just need to chime in, because if you think about this time last year, this whole conversation was completely different. The whole conversation at that time was, what survey do we launch? What questions do we ask? How do I word this the best way? Response rates. How do I increase my response rate? Yeah. And I just felt like really proud at that moment, because I got to see this, individual and organization grow in their way of thinking and approaching a customer experience program. So, yeah.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.
For having me.
Appreciate it. Can feel a bit strange, but it's really interesting just to bring to life your first-hand experience, and looking forward to spending a bit of time with the fellow judges in the room a bit later.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.